Let's see.
In 2022, a lab in Munich did something that I've been wanting to see. They gave 60 people a cognitive test, then sent them away for a 10-minute break, and then tested them again. Now, the difference was the break.
What is this?
Some people just sat there, some scrolled on Twitter, some watched a normal YouTube video, and some went on TikTok. So whose brain changed during that time? This is one of the few experiments that I've been able to dig up that has actually tested the idea of brain rot. But the science is starting to catch up to the fact that short-form video feeds are everywhere, and almost all of the commentary says that they're making us dumber.
I cannot physically bring myself to study.
I'm addicted too.
You can't?
We're all addicted to this.
You can't study?
It's horrible for you.
Oh, and we're giving kids
horrible
the
stuff.
attention span of a walnut.
This is awkward
Walnut
because
brains.
we make shorts, and it has introduced us to a bunch of new viewers. If brain rot is real,
Is brain rot real?
then we might be part of the problem.
Are we the
I
problem?
have a lot of skepticism whenever there's a claim that like some new thing is fundamentally changing the way that humans operate.
Yeah.
Isn't everything always changing?
Thought that writing was going to ruin our minds, and people
Right.
worry
Probably
about
does.
novels being addictive and the Telegraph and all of that. Like on Howtown, we
What about
don't
it?
just take the conventional wisdom.
It's
We're
all
not running on
addictive.
vibes over here. We're trying to.
They
see if there's
invented
anything
it
behind the vibes.
to be addictive. No,
So
I'm
I've
just
been
kidding.
hunting for evidence.
They invented me
We've
to be
heard about
addictive.
shrinking attention spans since the start of the smartphone era, but how can we measure those? And what are the studies saying about the video feeds specifically?
What are
After
they saying?
10 minutes of swiping through shorts, do people really think any worse?
Do they? Wait. What's going on
First, I wanted to know what makes this new format different from the hours of television that people watch every day. And you can hear it in how the companies talk about their own product. See, last year, a bunch of private conversations between TikTok employees came to light after 14 U.S. states investigated and sued the company.
This is multiple lawsuits coming from individual states' attorney generals, and the action alleges that TikTok exploits and harms young users.
The state attorneys had agreed to black out the confidential materials.
And I found the breadth of these redactions odd.
That's a local reporter named Sylvia Goodman. She discovered that the redactions in the Kentucky complaint had not been done correctly.
I copy and pasted it all out into a fresh document, and I could read all of those redactions. I'll be honest, my jaw was on the floor reading some of this.
The document showed TikTok employees openly grappling with the potential harm of the bold glamour filter.
Bold glamour filter. This is without the filter.
They admitted that those screen time reminders were a good talking point, but not altogether effective. One sentence that really stood out to me came from an internal document titled Digital Wellbeing.
An internal
TikTok's
document.
success can largely be attributed to strong out-of-the-box personalization and automation, which limits user agency.
We hear a lot about that personalization.
User
That's the
agency?
famous algorithm that decides what to show you based on
So you don't want to do anything yourself, just have it automated, like Amazon
But I want to
packages.
zero in on that last part about how the interface limits user agency. They're saying that TikTok wins by making fewer things feel like your decision.
Is that
I
true?
think that's the key to understanding what short-form video feeds might be doing to our minds. And since we use that word
Short-form
feed,
videos
let's roll with the food analogy.
to our minds. What do you think?
The restaurants we
Creating
know have a menu.
dopamine
You browse,
spikes,
you pick something, you eat it.
peaks,
Streaming
valleys,
television is that kind of restaurant.
addiction.
YouTube is too, or it was. Their
YouTube
big
is
innovation
addicting.
is that the menus are personalized based on what you've eaten there in the past. Now imagine a restaurant without menus, where you sit down, open your mouth, and a device places a morsel of something onto your tongue. You don't get another bite until you eat it or spit it out.
Really?
By measuring your chew time, the restaurant can adjust the lineup of bites to feature more of the flavors that you tend to swallow.
Wow.
But they don't just hit you with the same flavor time after time. They can also test out some unexpected morsels, because even if it's not your favorite, it's just a bite. And there's another one waiting that might be amazing.
It's just a bite?
Without a menu, you lose the experience of choosing, but you gain the experience of being surprised over and over and over again.
Really?
Plus, a lot more people can make morsels than can make a whole menu. So this restaurant can recruit way more cooks trying way more tricks to make their morsels tasty.
Is that true, though?
This restaurant is TikTok, and Reels and YouTube Shorts and all
I
of the
believe
other
that.
imitators.
Sure,
and it
that's
is probably
that's probably pretty
the
true.
most
Pretty true.
engaging
Certainly
media
true.
interface that I've ever seen, just in terms of sheer entertainment by watch time.
I agree
There's
with
a
your
catch,
opinion.
though. This sequential feeding system wouldn't work if the dishes were big or complicated. It only works with morsels. If you take away
Makes
the
my
user's
mouse look
agency,
smaller than it really is.
you arrive at short form. We've seen this happen before with Tinder. Instead of a dating app based
Horrible.
on a menu, they showed
Horrible.
one profile at a time.
Dating apps
forcing
are terrible.
Feedback from the swiper, and what happened?
Garbage.
The profiles became short form, just photos, a couple of
Garbage.
words, and an algorithm that encodes our
Garbage.
subconscious responses more
That's-
than our reflective intentions.
That's
Maybe
me
you noticed
providing
that all the dating apps became Tinder.
cultural enrichment.
Is all of media
Dating apps
becoming
are
TikTok?
terrible.
I've been trying to figure out just how much human attention
This is fair
has
use.
shifted into these feeds, but only the platforms know that and they don't release the data. But they do these quarterly calls with investors. And if you go back through the past few years, you can kind of hear just how big of a response Meta and YouTube have made to the rise of TikTok.
Reels already makes up more than 20% of the time, 50% of the time that people spend on Instagram.
Over 15 billion views each day, 30 billion daily
50 billion
views,
plus
70 billion.
We now average over 200 million daily views on YouTube Shorts.
Social media has gone through two
CEOs
eras so
of
far.
tech.
First was when all content was from
Are they
friends, family, and
psychopathic?
accounts that you followed
Are they
directly. The second was when
sociopathic?
we added all of the creator content.
Are they
Now, as AI
absolutely
makes it easier to
greedy?
create and remix content,
Is that what they are?
we're going
Or are
to
they
add yet another huge
benefactors
corpus of content on top of those.
to society and those who
It's really easy for me to think of
Also
this
great-
as
great-
the bowl of potato
great
chips
benefit.
that someone sticks on the table that you
I don't
didn't
know.
order, but it's there, so
Ooh,
you snack
potato
on it.
chips? I just ate some.
Can eat just one.
I can't eat just one. You're
And
right.
It makes
They're
me wonder
addicting.
if Cowtown Shorts are kind of like, do you know those like pea-shaped potato chips?
Right. I know what you're talking
It's
about.
like a green Cheeto.
There's a
Yeah,
version
they're
of this
like
that's
so healthy.
But our chips are made of vegetables.
Right, that's true.
I suppose it's no surprise that a bottomless,
Healthy chips.
personalized mystery snack dispenser could take over our media diets. But there is such thing as a healthy snack.
What?
Right.
How is that possible?
So I'm going to tell you about all the research that I've read.
Healthy
about this,
snacks?
and
No.
Then maybe we can decide how we feel about it.
Yeah,
Fruits,
great.
vegetables?
Yeah. It's interesting, as you've been researching all this, I have been feeling
Cured
especially
meats and
scatterbrained. I'm like
cheeses? I
distracted
don't
by
know.
the
Those are
news.
terrible
I've
for
been
you.
moving between 2 different continents. So it's a happy coincidence that the sponsor for this week's episode is Headspace, the mental health platform.
Wait,
Did
I'm
you
sorry.
try it?
Yeah. They sent
Wait.
me a free subscription, and I've been taking
Wait.
their
I'm not
Finding
selling this.
Focus course, which is
I'm not selling this.
basically
This is not my
10
product.
minute
I'm not selling
sections
this.
of
Wait.
guided
Oh, we can
meditation
jump ahead.
that
I'm
is
sorry.
completely free.
Premium feature, I guess.
Before we
I
get
don't
to
know.
TikTok,
What does
there's
that
a
mean?
bigger question to answer. Have our attention spans
Look, it's
really
free for
shrunk?
2 months if you want to
According
get
to a
it.
2015
Okay.
post by Time Magazine.
I don't know. It's
yes,
not mine.
they're now
I have
shorter
nothing to
than
do
a
with that.
goldfish.
I don't know what
But
it is.
This
I don't know if it
is
works.
one of those myths that won't die.
Here's a fun fact.
Some researchers have concluded that our attention span is now shorter.
Shorter. Goldfish. Shorter than goldfish.
The
No, I can't
claim
even
came
think.
from a report published by Microsoft, which had
It's not
this
even-
graphic showing
goldfish
our
aren't
attention span
even in
declining
the-
from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. But they were citing something called statistic brain, which in turn cited these sources. And when
Statistic
journalists
brain?
tried to track down those sources, they didn't exist. The numbers were entirely made up for both the humans
Made up?
and the goldfish. So what would it really take to measure attention spans? Well, I talked to one of the few people who have tried.
My name is Gloria Mark.
She's written a book called Attention Span.
Gloria
and way
Mark.
back in 2003, she convinced an investment management company to let her peek over the shoulders of 14 of their employees as they worked.
And we would just observe them and with stopwatches.
They're there-
Every time
your
they
experiment?
changed to do something else, we would click on the
Human experimentation?
stopwatch, and it was very, very tiring.
Human
Those
experimentation.
employees spent about 2.5 minutes working on their computers before they switched to checking email or doing something else. Fast
Human
forward to 2012, she convinces
experimentation?
another
Is that what you're
workplace to let
telling
her
me is
install
going on?
software that tracks how often their employees click from one window to another and finds that they switch every 75 seconds on average. Now it's closer to 40.
So yes, empirically,
Is that
we
true?
can say that on screen,
Is that true?
attention spans have shortened.
It's a little tricky because obviously we have this method switch. Like without that dot at 2004, the trend doesn't look as dramatic, right? It's sort of funny to me to think about the adjudicators or the watchers in that first test were also having their attentions tested. Like, were they able to catch? Like, they're also having to focus. The other big question I would have is, like, is this measuring our ability to focus or just how much distracting stuff there is in our lives? What I'm worried about is that I'm no longer able to read a book for 6 hours like I did when I was 12.
Has something changed about your brain?
Yeah, has something changed about the ability of my brain? It's obvious to me that something has changed about the way that computers work. Like, yeah, I've just got
Are there frequencies in the air that are making us concentrate for less amount of time?
And so
are you a conspiracy theorist?
I'm still curious about, like, if there's actual damage being done to our mental system.
You mean by Wi-Fi signals and notifications?
Is that it captures real life.
It's not just bringing people into a laboratory, having them sit for an hour.
All the noises coming from their phones and computers and screens and the airplanes in the sky.
Over the day in the course of their actual work.
The limitation is that it can't distinguish between these three different influences on our ability to focus. There's our attentional capacity. That's what we generally think of when we say attention span. Then there's our motivation, how much we need or care about focusing on this task. And there's competition. How much is our environment distracting us? Now, in a lab, they can get closer to controlling for motivation and competition. But the tasks that they give people don't look anything like real life. Let me show you. This is a classic attention test. They tell you to memorize this image, and then you go through these rows, crossing out the items that match the one that you memorized. You get 20 seconds per row. There's 14 rows. They look at how many errors you make, how fast you work, whether you get worse over time. And on this test, performance in adults has actually been increasing. That's according to a study that compiled scores from 3 decades and 32 countries. In children, overall performance hasn't changed, but their test-taking style has.
Is this actual science?
Making more errors, but also completing more items. Now, researchers who run lab tests like these don't claim to be measuring attention span.
I think we often, in daily life, and I even do this myself, we just talk about attention, and it feels obvious, like we know what it means to pay attention. But actually, if we give people different tasks, we can see that there's distinct components of attention that aren't necessarily related to each other. So
Monica Rosenberg studies patterns of brain activity during attention tests.
What does that
when
mean?
I'm watching a really engaging movie, like my lab collected data as people watched a Hitchcock film and YouTube videos about cooking. Is this the same kind of attention, or is there something fundamentally different about being engaged in a narrative that I'm motivated to follow versus forcing myself to do this boring task? And it turns out there's some similarities, but there's also some differences. And so I think how well I do on one task with pictures is not indicative of how well I pay attention all the time in all contexts. It's certainly related, but it's not a perfect measure.
So let's set aside the concept of
perfect.
attention spans. It's a really fuzzy term. It's hard to measure. The sharper question to ask is, if you binge short-form video, what exactly gets worse? Is it your memory, your reasoning? That's what the next few studies are trying to pin down. If you ask, do people who say they're addicted to short-form video also have trouble focusing?
Yes.
So far, the answer to that seems to be yes. A recent review of 14 studies found that increased SFV use, that's short-form video, was associated with poorer cognition, including attention and inhibitory control. But whenever you see that term was associated with, that's scientist code for, we're not saying this causes the problem.
Right. It's sort of our social media and teen health all over again, where it's our depressed teens becoming depressed because they are on social media, or are they seeking it out?
Yeah, I think this is the question with basically all of the harmful effects that people are attributing to these new technologies is almost all the research can't distinguish correlation from causation.
Oh, is that true?
There are a few experimental studies that I wanted to highlight.
Wow, you guys are really saying that for once.
There are different cognitive tests where people perform worse after scrolling a short speed. One is a kind of trick question quiz, and the other is about whether you can remember to do something that you plan to do. So first, there's a measure based on these 3 questions.
A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost?
Nothing.
This is supposed to capture analytical thinking. To get these questions right, you have to switch out of autopilot. Like your gut is screaming
10 cents,
and you need to override that. 72 college students at Peking University in Beijing took this test after either spending 30 minutes scrolling TikTok,
$10,
or the Chinese version of TikTok, or 30 minutes reading. And the TikTok group
I just put
did
on
worse.
audiobooks
The
because I
researchers
don't
wanted
read.
to know,
Reading's for
does
dummies.
What you watch matter? So they ran a second study, but this time people watched either a cute animals playlist or a science experiments playlist. They also changed how people watch. Some
If
could
I learn more,
swipe
I'm
through the
smarter.
videos like a normal feed. Others had to sit and watch the same clips
Duh.
stitched together into one long video. And here's what they found. It didn't matter whether you watched animals or science, but the swiping groups consistently did worse on the cognitive reflection test. They got 0.38 fewer questions right out of the 3 questions total. That's 12% of the scale after 30 minutes from just swiping alone.
Okay, interesting.
Wow.
So if you're
That's a fantastic.
you're subjected to essentially just a montage of videos that you don't have control over, you are not degrading your analytical thinking as much as if you're swiping through and getting to just skip whenever you are bored. It's sort of interesting because you think of
Is that true?
That decision is interacting with the interface, right? That decision is cognitively more intense than just sitting back and letting something happen to you, right?
Yeah, unless boredom is cognitively intense in a way that we don't recognize. Okay, so that's one test that short form video makes you worse at. The other is a test of prospective memory, which is when you remember to do
Don't watch
something
short form
that you
videos.
intended to do.
Basically,
like picking
right?
up the dry
In a
cleaning,
nutshell.
or joining
And
a
10
Zoom meeting,
nutshells.
or taking a medication that you're supposed to take. Researchers at the University of Munich wanted to know how short form video feeds affect that ability.
Because it was coming from general observation that, like, if you scroll a bit, you feel like, don't want to say that you feel like new, but like you kind of
dissociate.
dissociate a bit. So it was something like we said, okay, it's actually really happening, like, and we felt that. So we said, okay, let's figure out how we can, make this solid user study and investigate what can be a cognitive function that be associated.
So how would you test prospective memory?
Boy, oh boy. Well, it feels like, we're getting tested all the time. If you tell me to do something and then you wait 30 minutes and see if I did it, is that long enough to be considered prospective memory? Or does it have to be like, I know I have a meeting on Wednesday at 1, and do you show up at the meeting? Is there a time scale involved in what is considered prospective memory?
Yeah, well, I mean, the way that psychologists define it for their purposes is even much shorter than that, because they need a way to measure it in the lab with subjects that they don't have access to for very long. So the way they try to capture prospective memory, which is this idea of remembering a previous goal or intention, is they embed a task within a task. So you're going to try this out.
No, great. I should have slept more last night.
Fly sheet.
The subjects were told to press N on their keyboard if the word on the screen is a real word.
My heart is racing.
And M if it's a fake word.
No.
Fake.
But if they saw the words
Pongy.
blue, purple, or green, they were supposed to press Q, W, or E, respectively.
QWE.
Purple is...
That's the prospective memory task.
No, I did it wrong.
QWE, blue,
I
purple,
got it
green.
wrong already. I already know.
Houseman. Joust.
Green. Love green.
They had people do
Immured.
this
Immured.
task and then
Immured.
take a 10-minute break in which they either just rested, scrolled Twitter, watched
I'm
a
not
YouTube
cultured.
video,
I don't know
or
anything.
scrolled TikTok, and then they took the test
I don't
again.
read books.
When they
I'm
compared
stupid.
the scores from before the break
Don't trust
and
me. I
after
don't know
the break,
anything.
The performance on the real word, fake word task was the same. But for the blue, purple, green task, where they needed to remember that second intention, one group saw a big drop in their scores. It was the group that scrolled TikTok during the break.
What this is basically getting at is if you should be keeping something in mind, you lose that with the scrolling behavior.
But not just scrolling, because Twitter is a scroll behavior as well.
Right, that's true. It's short form video specifically.
That study took place in Germany.
Twitter.
But I was able to give this test to Adam in English because researchers in the UK replicated it in their own sample of 45 students. And this time, they tested different ways of watching short form video. One group was limited to 10 swipes. The other group was allowed to swipe as much as they wanted. And there was a control group that just sat quietly. The group that watched shorts but was limited to 10 swipes didn't see a drop in their performance. The unlimited swiping group did.
So again, it's like something about just being able to do this mindlessly is the problem. So if you're watching this in a clipped short, don't swipe away.
Actually, what you should do is download all the Howtown shorts. We'll watch them in one big stream.
Really?
There you go.
Wait,
that's basically
Howtown shorts?
With the research.
So
there's a few of
make
these
our brains
experimental
dumber?
studies. They're using a few different types of cognitive tests, none of which really map onto our popular conception of attention span, but are related cognitive skills. And they're raising a few red flags, but obviously the caveats of small samples and tasks that are very different from our everyday lives.
Now I want to know if I'm scrolling TikTok.
So it doesn't really mean anything.
Bed for 2 hours.
Is that what you're telling me?
Am I just generally?
It's just
having
science for no
in
reason.
My life, or
You're
is
liars.
that confined to just right after I use it?
Long-term studies would actually really inform
Crashing out.
And maybe guide better ethics and policy in designing the interface. I think this is actually something that could really impact the quality of life of people probably and provide evidence that maybe something has to change.
I'm crashing out.
In 1890, the pioneering American psychologist William James wrote, "My experience is what I agree to attend to. My experience is what I agree to attend to." And there's more. He said, "Only those items which I notice shape my mind. Without selective interest, the consciousness of every creature would be a gray, chaotic indiscriminateness impossible for us even to conceive." 135 years later, a consciousness of chaotic indiscriminateness is not impossible to conceive. It's how I often feel when I lose myself in a feed.
I'm
Even
crashing
when that feed
out.
is full of things that are educational and funny or beautiful or really useful, genuinely my relationship
full of anxiety.
to those will never be the same. And yet,
Or not.
I
You're
keep coming
perfectly
back
calm.
to this question of user agency, or what James called selective interest. Agency is at the heart of both analytical thinking and perspective memory. Those weird little tests are basically asking if your brain is on autopilot, or if you can slow down, make a turn, remember where you intended to go. It's not just your intentions that get lost. Feeds that nudge the customers into autopilot tend to nudge the cooks into autopilot too.
Scientists just created.
Here's what would happen.
Scientists just.
Here's what would happen.
What the heck is this?
But not everyone. Last time I checked,
What did
Smarter
I just
Every
see?
Day,
Wait,
you guys
wait,
had not
wait.
posted anything into the Shorts feed.
Wait.
Is that still the case?
Yes, the
No.
case. I have elected not
What
to
did I
do
just
that
see? Wait.
Because
What was that?
Those weird little tests are basically asking if your brain is on autopilot, or if you can slow down, make a turn, remember where you intended to go. It's not just your intentions that get lost. Feeds that nudge the customers into autopilot tend to nudge the cooks into autopilot too.
Scientists just created.
Here's what would happen.
Scientists just.
Here's what would happen.
Scientists
This
just.
is what would happen.
But not everyone. Last time I checked Smarter Every Day, you guys had not posted anything into the Shorts feed. Is that still the case?
that's the case. I have elected
I crashed
not
out,
to
man.
do that because I don't think it's good for people. I don't think the infinite scroll is healthy for our minds. It's easy for me to say this.
You don't think
because
so?
Smarter Every Day has been around for a while, and
It's
there's
not
a
good
lot
for
of
us?
really awesome people that support the channel.
Wait.
But I think saying
I
no to
wanna know-
shorts is
wait.
powerful.
Wait. Did I actually see? I want to know if
It's not
I actually
just
saw
your
what I saw.
intentions
I didn't know. I don't think I saw it.
Feeds that nudge the customers into autopilot tend to nudge the cooks into autopilot too.
Scientists just created.
Here's what would happen.
Scientists just.
Here's what would happen.
Scientists
This
just.
is what would happen.
But not everyone.
I
Last
bet
time
you
checked
didn't notice.
Smarter Every Day,
I
you
bet
guys
you
had
didn't
not posted
notice.
anything into the Shorts feed. Is that still the case?
What?
That's the case. I have elected not to do that.
I'm crashing out right now.
I don't think it's good for people. I don't think the infinite scroll is healthy for our minds.
No?
It's easy for me to say this because Smarter Every Day has been around for a while, and there's a lot of really awesome people that support the channel. But I think saying no to shorts is powerful.
No to shorts.
And I think it ultimately increases trust in the creator. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Dustin's such a good guy.
Such a good guy, man. Yeah.
You know, obviously we want to be acting with integrity.
Yeah, I agree with
and
your
sort of,
opinion.
like, living our values in all parts of our life, including the way we make this channel. But like having bite-sized information. You know, when I was at NPR, we would make 3-minute radio pieces all the time, right? That was like a pretty typical length. And I didn't feel like those were bad for the world just because it was a compressed amount of information about a complex subject. I thought like, oh, this is good. Like someone is learning something that they wouldn't otherwise know. The question is, do we want to participate in these endless scrolls?
I don't know if you see these comments sometimes on our shorts. This one says like, your
plain and simple, no, we don't.
Are the most anti-brain rot content
Just say
out
no!
there. Actually genuine and very high quality. And then someone responded, no such thing as
Nancy
anti-brain rot
Reagan and
content
just
on
say
the
no
short.
to YouTube
That's
Shorts to
basically kind of
TikTok. No,
pushing
no, no,
getting
no.
the answer.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
There's
crashing
no such
out.
thing as a good short, as an anti-brain rot short.
Just say no.
What do you think?
Just say
is this
no.
research strong enough that we should be making a change?
Let
us know in the comments.
Man, there was
You can
no
also
real
find
world
more of my
implications with that
conversation
research.
with
It all
Dustin
was
and
in
here
a
Adam and I
lab
are
and a little
processing all of
study with
this
some
over
stupid
on our Patreon.
situations
And if
that
you're
no one would
interested
conduct
in
themselves in.
meditation,
It
which
was
is
a waste of
arguably
time,
the
and I'm
opposite
not
of
buying your
binging a short
headspace
feed.
or
Click
even
the
getting
link
your
in our
free
description
trial.
to try Headspace
No,
free for 60
no,
days.
no.
That deal doesn't last.
Okay,
so
maybe.
Try it now. See how
That
your
sounds
mind
pretty cool. I mean, free for 2 months. I mean, come on, that's not too bad. But if I have to put a card in, I don't know if that's certainly too free at all. Because if I have to put any information in like that, that's not that free. That's personal information. What are you doing with my personal information? You're just storing it? I don't believe so. I don't think you're just storing my personal information for free. Okay. All right. Look. You guys are going to get a little bit into my algorithm. It's a terrible place. I wish I could just make it fresh, but I have YouTube. Okay, this is horrible. What is this? I don't know what this is. Look at this. Okay, so this is how I go through YouTube. I just scroll to the very bottom until I find something that doesn't interest me. Okay. Let's just put news. Okay.
So now let's go to reaction that's pouring in from world leaders this morning who are waking up to a new reality with what happened overnight. We have our CB Cotton, who has been following reaction from all over the world. CB,
is this legal?
There's been plenty of reaction here.
They just captured that dude. Is this even legal? What kind of world are we in? I don't know.
But around the world,
sounds pretty crazy.
Harsh reaction as well. What can you tell us, CB?
Wow, look at that guy. He's just doing,
hey,
look
Brian,
at these dudes.
Right. Well, this morning, the UN Secretary General released a statement saying he is deeply concerned that international law may not have been respected. As you mentioned, global leaders are watching as all of this unfolds to see what comes next for Venezuela and U.S. foreign policy. In Europe, the European Council president released a statement, Antonio Costa, and he said he was following the developments with, quote, great concern, urging de-escalation and respect of international law.
International law? Who even? Who's the lawyer of the international nation of the world? Who controls the world? America. That's crazy, right? I mean, the United Nations. I don't think the United Nations controls the U.S. Constitution. All right, go to war. Let's go to war. I'm pretty crazy. Let's go to war with the United Nations. I'm insane. Let's go to war with them. So what? United Nations is a front for the one world government. I don't care what you say. America, that's right. Come on. This is crap. You know what? You know what I think? I don't really care. That's what I think. Okay, I actually care so much. I think we need to topple our government. This is time to bring down the government.
A strong ally of President Trump wrote, quote, freedom advances.
This is crazy!
And in the UK, reform leader and
what is going on? This guy is just taking over the world. This makes no sense.
Said it may lead
He just took him down. He captured the man. No more Venezuela. No more Venezuela.
Make it clear that the UK was not involved.
Take him down. El Chapo, take him down. Kill him. I'm just kidding. I'm not a psycho murderer. Look, we don't need to kill people, but let's go to war with the UN. UN's corrupt. The United States is corrupt, but we don't need a civil war. Let's just regime change everything. Regime change. That's just crazy. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. All lies. What does Donald Trump have to say?
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Compagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on.
All right, Fox. All right, look. What is this? This is Trump. All right. This guy's crazy. This is apparently the president of the United States, guys. Apparently, I don't know. 360p.
And early today, at my direction, the United States.
This is apparently the president. Shut up.
Conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela.
What's the name of that place? I don't know.
Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II.
What?
It was a
World
force
War II.
against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to
Look at that
justice.
Nazi, man. Oh my gosh. Ugh, looks just like Hitler.
Stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American
Taking down other
military
dictators
might
looks
and
just like Hitler.
in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi.
Oh man, this is a grueling speech. I don't know if I can do this.
Decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently.
You know, this guy's a
An operation
racist.
known as Midnight Hammer. All perfectly executed and done. No nation.
Don't think for yourself. This guy's a racist, and he's a bad man. He really is.
Or frankly, in just a short period of time, all Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women.
Donald Trump is evil. He's a bad man. Don't think for yourselves. Just keep repeating the same thing. He's evil.
Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores.
All right. I think we get it. This guy, he likes to talk, and he took down that dude. But let's hear some more. Okay, you know, we're gonna give him some time. All right, let's
now
do it.
face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. It's Jay Clayton for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens.
Really?
I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days.
This is at Mar-a-Lago.
There were different days where
This isn't even at the White House.
Maybe like never before. These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us.
This is crazy news. Do you know that the president just carried out, the United States just carried out a large-scale attack against Venezuela, and that Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured and flown out of the country? What? Is this, am I old? How old am I? Is this last century news already? Like, does nobody care anymore?
It was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed.
This is so boring. Let's watch it.
Lost. We had many helicopters, many planes, many people involved in that fight.
Gosh.
Look at that. Not one piece of military equipment was lost. Not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far.
All right. What other news could there possibly be in the world other than this? Anything? Seems like the only thing that matters is Fox News. Did I make YouTube do that? I don't know. I don't think so. Ooh, let's see what the news has to say.
With you, I'm Tony Dokoupil. The major breaking news right now.
Nah, never mind. Oh, what a stupid idea to see the news. All right. Wait, I like this guy.
Welcome to Crossroads. President Donald Trump has a new plan to bring housing prices down, and this is a massive construction project. Also, in other news, massive fraud has been uncovered in Minnesota, as you may have heard.
Fraud?
And there are individuals and organizations, mainly in the Somali community, accused of things like stealing billions of dollars in the welfare
That's
system. But now,
racist.
guess what?
That's racist.
Similar cases
That's
and
racist.
potential investigations, including into public officials, are now starting to spread to other states and cities around the country.
That's got to
We've done
be
these topics
racist.
and a lot more today. Make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment.
That's got to be racist.
All right, first off, look, the affordability crisis, it's kind of the main narrative right now for the midterm elections. Trump is even saying it. He's saying that affordability, whether it's the benefits of the economy,
We can't afford anything.
What the midterms are about.
We can't afford housing.
People, can you afford a home? How much is food? Are you swimming
Food
in
costs
debt?
too much.
And what's
Too
your
much
general
debt.
quality of life,
I'm
right?
swimming in debt.
The soaring costs have reduced the quality of life for many Americans.
That's right.
Yeah, well, President Donald Trump is taking some steps that could potentially at least reduce the cost of homes. And this involves
Get up to 15,000 of free silver. 15,000.
Just the News says this. They say one of the most pressing issues facing Americans is the war against unaffordability. They say it's the lack of suitable, purchasable, affordable
That's true.
housing. And
That's true.
President Donald Trump appears poised to ameliorate that crisis with a new policy that could spur 12
My
million
algorithm is
new homes to be
embarrassing.
built, the top advisor says.
My YouTube algorithm is embarrassing.
Keep in mind, though, they brought in 20 million people into this country, all of whom need to be housed, and they don't deport 20 million. It's not going to be enough. But the Trump admin have been deporting people.
This guy's
quite a
racist.
bit, so this actually might be felt. Now, the top advisor says this, the president has the opportunity in front of him to create possibly the largest housing boom in U.S. history.
Release
Says,
the
"And I
Epstein
think
files."
He has the tools and the personality to accomplish the plans, to accomplish it. This is Morris Davis, the recently departed chief housing economist for the White House Council for Economic Advisors. He told us to Just the News. Now, notice the United States is facing a persistent housing shortage, in case you haven't noticed. Estimates ranging from 3 to 5 million homes needed overall, meaning you have people without a place to stay, and up to 7.1 million affordable rental units lacking for extremely low-income households as of late 2025. Now, notice the supply deficit transpired after decades of underbuilding. Remember, a lot of those because of COVID-19.
All right.
As it
You
is
know what? This is just depressing. Depressing. It's depressing. It's depressing. Oh yeah, so depressing. I'm telling you, it actually is. I love the news. The news is awesome. All right. Where do you just see what's trending? How do you see that? I don't know. I don't know how life works. Shopping. Let's buy stuff. Shopping on YouTube. Okay. How to make rhinestone templates with Cricut. That's awesome. Project Aurora from Xreal is the future of XR. They have a product right here if you want to buy that. That's awesome. Ooh, keyboards. I like this. Is this what this world has come to? Everything for sale. Everything buy now. Buy. Everything for sale. Buy it now. I want to see some news story on inflation. Let's see it. Inflation. End of the world. End of the world. I want to see what some crazy person has to say about it. End of the world, excuse me. All right. Here we go. This one, the most depressing video.
Are flashing red. Layoffs are piling up. Inflation is biting harder than ever.
The economy will crash.
Industries are bracing for impact. The American economy isn't just slowing down, it is lurching toward the edge of a cliff.
We're all going to die.
This is just another downturn. Think again, because the crash that's coming could be worse than you've
AI?
imagined. In this episode, a bad thing. But when that economic pushing
Man,
its own currency to
this
either
is
replace
AI.
I want you to imagine for a moment that you started investing in 1998. The world's going mad for the internet. New companies are popping up out of nowhere, and every investor is convinced they found the next big thing. So you take all your money and invest it in a few tech stocks just because they have catchy .com names. And for a couple of years, your money keeps going up, and everyone thinks you're a genius. Until the year 2000.
Oh my.
Breathtaking.
I'm going bloody mad.
Seen on the US markets. Traders and investors shell shock. And spare a thought for Bill
Gates. Losing my bloody mind.
Cost the world's richest man.
Gone bloody mad.
$8 billion this week alone.
When the bubble burst, the Nasdaq fell nearly 80%, and only 48% of .com companies managed to survive.
How did anyone survive the .com crash?
And even though it was a crash I'd half been expecting, my own investments still took a hit. The crazy part is, the internet was the next big thing. But even then, the overconfidence and hype created one of the biggest bubbles in history. So why am I telling you all this? Well, fast forward to today, and I can't help but feel that same energy again. But this time, it's not driven by the internet. It's AI. People are calling it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It's AI!
Maybe they're right, or maybe it's the same story playing out all over again. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, and every generation
Mark Twain is
thinks
smart.
They found a new era. But as John Templeton said, the 4 most expensive words in investing are, this time it's different. But is this time actually different?
Wow.
Well, there's over 7 million of you have
So
started
smart.
investing because of my
What
video.
a genius.
I feel a responsibility to give you my honest take on this situation. So before
Tell
you
me right
panic,
now.
let's take a step back and look at the 3 hidden forces behind this potential bubble.
I
Why they
wanna
matter,
know
and what
everything
people
about
do
this
to
bubble.
benefit from all this mayhem.
Mayhem. Tell me, what's the
Right
mayhem,
now,
mate?
The fate of the entire stock market and your portfolio is being decided by just 7 companies.
No,
They're
not
called
my
the
stocks.
Magnificent 7. These are
Not
Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet,
Oh,
Meta,
good.
Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia.
Not
Together,
them.
They now make up around 36% of the entire S&P 500.
37% of the whole market, mate.
Intelligence. So even
What?
if you only own 1 share of the S&P 500, you're already betting on these companies. And whether you realize it or not, your future returns depend on how this race plays out. Because
The
every
world
dollar
is
these
coming to
companies
an
invest
end.
sends ripples through the whole market. From chip makers to energy companies to your index funds. And when you see how much they're predicted to pour into AI this year, you'll understand why. Let's go one by one. Tesla plan on spending $5 billion on
$5 billion. That's it, mate. $5 billion.
Apple, $10.7 billion to make Siri smarter. To be honest, it's probably going to take more than that.
Why does it say I'm offline, eh?
$60 billion on data centers and the metaverse. Google, $75 billion rebuilding the internet
I'm not
with
offline.
AI. Microsoft, $80 billion funding OpenAI and supercomputers. And Amazon, $100 billion on AWS to own the infrastructure everyone else relies on. That's a total of $330 billion in 1 year. To put that into perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of countries like Finland or Portugal. All that money is going into building the future. Some people are even calling it the 4th industrial revolution.
The 4th.
I get it. This all sounds pretty exciting.
4.
However, all of this spending seems to be what's
4.
keeping the economy alive at the moment. And And without it, the US might already be in a mild recession. So the question is, how long can it last?
How long?
It doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. Global AI spending is expected to reach $500 billion by the end of 2026. With
That
spending
sucks.
on power and resources for electricity demand topping $3 trillion annually by 2030. That's how bad these companies want to win the AI arms race. I mean, I can see why. The International Monetary Fund
You're depressing me.
estimates that about 60% of jobs in the developed world are exposed to AI. This means they could be transformed or replaced by automation in the coming years. So whoever manages to crack this technology first will be rewarded with a crazy amount of power. Mark Zuckerberg even said if Meta end up misspending $200 billion, it's worth it. Because if they move too slowly, they're out of the competition. But this race isn't just between companies anymore, it's between nations. The US and China see AI as the key to global dominance, and they're both burning through billions to make sure they're the ones holding the reins. For everyday investors, this could go two different ways. If AI delivers on its promise, the next decade of investing could be just like the internet boom of the 2000s.
Is that true?
But if the
Is that
profits
true?
don't arrive fast enough, the same stocks pumping up your investment.
We're all going to
portfolio
lose to
today
AI
could drag
investing.
it down tomorrow.
Or we're all
But
going to
where
make
is
a
all
lot
this
of money.
coming from? Well, that brings us on to
right.
When I first saw what I'm about to show
I don't
you,
own any of
my
those stocks
mind
right now,
was
mate.
blown. But
What
before
about
we
me?
dive in, if you're
What about
finding
me?
this video useful and you've been subscribed to me for a while,
It's still going to affect you. It's still going to affect
you.
even if you don't own them.
Really exciting
Even if you don't own
that
them.
a few of you will be able to try out for free. It's a platform that help you grow your wealth. There'll be lots of in-depth videos on there about investing and side hustles, as well as the opportunity to ask me questions directly. So if you'd like to
Really?
get exclusive early access, and
Can
the
I skip
opportunity to
this?
Try it out for free.
Can
then
I
I'll leave a
skip?
link in the
Can I skip
Design
this?
the chips that power
I'm
the
just
AI
kidding.
model
Let's put it back.
free. Then I'll leave a link in the description
I'm just
below
kidding.
where
I was
you can
joking.
sign up to the wait list. With that said, back to this. It's
Awesome.
being referred to as the AI money machine. It's the main reason I'm starting to get worried about the state of the AI industry.
AI is bad.
Let's rub some of these arrows out and walk you through how it all operates. Intel, AMD and NVIDIA are the companies that design the chips that power the AI models. OpenAI and xAI and other smaller players
It's all
are
bad.
companies that buy these chips. Then you have Oracle and CoreWeave. These are the data centers who also buy these chips, then lease out the computing power to the AI companies. Think of them like the middlemen. At first glance, nothing seems out of the ordinary, but once you look at how these companies actually work together, the red flags start jumping out. It started when investors and Microsoft gave OpenAI $58 billion in funding. OpenAI then paid that back to Microsoft to use their data centers. Microsoft then used that money to buy NVIDIA chips. NVIDIA
Right.
then invested that back into OpenAI. Doing this
Right.
allows each company to record that flow as revenue, which of course pushes their stock prices up. It's kind of like
Right.
if I went out into the woods with a friend and paid him $1,000 to dig a hole. Then he paid me $1,000 to fill it back in. We'd then both have $1,000 in revenue. Now, if we
Right.
were valued like OpenAI, which
But
is
you don't
currently
have anything
trading at
done.
more than 40 times its revenue,
Getting nothing
that
done,
would
just
mean our whole
digging
digging
up,
and
filling up holes for no
business
reason.
would be worth over $40,000 each. Obviously,
You're so
I'm
smart.
heavily simplifying things here. These companies aren't just passing around the same money. However, the idea remains the same. And this has only been getting crazier recently, with OpenAI announcing a deal worth $300 billion with Oracle. After this, Oracle
300 billion!
will spend tens of billions on NVIDIA chips. Then NVIDIA agreed to invest up to $100 billion back into OpenAI. But to unlock that investment, OpenAI has to buy more of their chips. NVIDIA
Right.
are definitely the real winners here. Their share price
So is there a
up
bubble?
1,600% since ChatGPT launched, and they sell their chips to everyone. I'm talking.
Does this mean I'm
Microsoft,
gonna lose
Meta,
my sovereignty?
Amazon, OpenAI, and even Oracle.
'Cause I'll never
Then
get out of
they
debt
invest
to
back into
AI.
the same companies that buy
AI is
your
gonna
product.
control
This
my
is like
life.
paying your customers to buy your product, and could be artificially boosting the demand for their chips. Do you see how messy this is all getting? Let me try and simplify it. NVIDIA sells the shovels, Oracle provides the land, OpenAI digs the quarry, and they're all helping each other to lure people into the mines, but nobody struck gold yet. I mean, OpenAI is currently valued.
Man, this is going to drive me insane watching this stuff.
Making roughly $12 billion in revenue. It's losing money every month. Now, that's the main problem I see.
What should I be doing, huh?
AI services.
Don't tell me. I don't need your advice.
So will these AI companies ever make the kind
Go
of
to school.
needed to justify
Write a
their
book.
stock prices?
Eat
Well,
some
it is possible.
cardboard,
They do still have some huge
fiber.
levers they
Work
can
out.
pull.
Go.
I mean, each week, over 700 million people are using ChatGPT. That's a huge amount of attention. And even more importantly, an enormous amount of data about all of us. Imagine when Sam Altman turns on ads and allows companies to use ChatGPT to recommend their products directly inside our conversation.
Well, just don't use it then.
It's like nothing we've ever seen before. In addition to this,
Don't use it.
OpenAI has
Don't use it.
surprisingly announced that it will start to allow erotica in its chats for verified adults.
Oh,
which, of
no.
course, is a huge industry.
Ew.
I don't know anything about that. On top of that, these AI companies are building
Gross.
systems that are aiming to undercut the human workforce. They're betting that once corporations become dependent on AI, they'll have no choice but to keep paying, no matter the cost. And that's when the AI companies could hike prices sky high and finally cash in. So there's no doubt these AI companies are valuable, but much of that value still depends on one thing, the belief that progress will keep accelerating. And that leads us on to
the AI data wall.
AI has been improving at a breakneck speed for the past couple of years. I mean, we've gone from an AI video that looks like this
Whoa.
to this.
Whoa!
Will Smith eating spaghetti has become one of the ways we now judge AI's improvement.
That's
Stock markets are relying
amazing.
heavily on the rapid rate of improvement.
Not
to
really.
continue. However, we're not far off hitting something cool.
Not really. Not impressed.
For years, AI
Sucks.
has been
That
devouring
sucks.
every scrap of public data.
Garbage.
By 2027, it's expected to have consumed nearly
Not
all
impressed.
human-generated
Garbage.
online content. It's like climbing a ladder
Garbage.
in a game of snakes and ladders.
Garbage.
Everyone assumes the ladders will keep going, but we're running out of data to climb. So we might have to start moving square to square instead. I mean, just think how
You need
long
to
the
start
data
training
sets that
people to
we're
be
feeding AI have
smarter,
taken to build.
to train better data off of,
No
to
wonder
steal their
progress seems
intelligence.
to have been so rapid, 'cause
Yes.
we've been feeding it books,
Steal
research
all
and
the
data
people's
going all the way back
brains.
to the dinosaurs. And I'm not talking about me. If AI companies can't find a way to scale beyond the data wall, we could see progress slow down, expectations collapse, and the bubble many investors are banking on finally bursting. But is beating the data wall actually possible? Potentially. Think about it. Humans don't have
Yo,
to
I hope
worry
I
about
get
the
cancelled.
data
Cancel me.
That's because we don't just learn from being fed data.
I'm
We
not
learn
even
from
anybody.
interacting with the world. I mean, if
I'm not
AI
even your
tried to
dad.
make this video, it couldn't. It hasn't lived my life, had my conversations, or made my investing mistakes. My perspective comes from my experience, which is something AI can't simulate. So,
Really?
in my opinion, scaling past the data wall is possible. But it
Wow.
isn't just a question of more data. It's a question of different data. But look, I'm not a scientist, so let's get back to investing in the stock market.
Why did
That
you
brings
even
me
go
on to-
there then? Why?
So I started
Why you
this
tricked me?
video by comparing what's happening now to the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s. However, is it actually the same? No, not entirely. The main difference is that these AI companies have real utility and a clear path to profits. How big those profits will end up being remains to be seen. However, it's a much better situation than the dot-com bubble, where companies were getting their crazy valuations from fancy names alone. So does that mean it's not a bubble? Well, honestly, I still think it is. The signs are all there. Overvaluation, faking revenue, geopolitical mania and scaling limits. However, there's no way of telling what stage we're in. This could be the start of a decade of crazy investment, or closer to the end than we realise. So what's the best thing to do with your money? Well, I'm not a financial advisor. However, these are the things I'd be focusing
Oh,
on
you're not.
if I were you. Firstly,
Really?
continuing to invest. If we're at the start of the bubble, then the prices we're seeing right now could seem like bargains in a couple of years' time. That's why it's so important to set up an automatic investment that leaves your account every month and goes into a broad, low-cost index fund. I did this during the dot-com bubble, and although my investments took a hit when the bubble burst, I don't regret a thing. as over time the market bounced back, as historically it always has. The real secret is not to panic when your portfolio goes down. As long as you're investing in an index fund that tracks the overall stock market, then continuing to invest for a crash could be the best thing you ever do. That's how I ended up making millions from the dot-com bubble bursting. But in order to do this, you need to make sure you're not in debt or over-leveraging yourself. This is exactly why my friends lost millions while I was able to keep investing. The next thing I'd do is use the link in the description to sign up for free early access of my new wealth building platform, so you can ask me questions directly. I'm only joking, but seriously, you should do it. Secondly, focus on increasing your income. Your income is the fuel you're using to grow your wealth. So if you can increase it by getting a promotion or starting a side hustle, then that's going to supercharge your returns, especially
for free.
If you do this while the stock market's falling, because you'll be
limited time only.
Thirdly,
do I have to click there?
Putting all your money into one type of investment is a recipe for disaster. The key to surviving market bubbles is diversification. This means spreading your money across different types of assets. My portfolio includes stocks, bonds, precious metals like gold, real estate, and even cryptocurrency. It's also worth considering dividend-paying stocks, as they actually perform well during downturns because they generate passive income even when prices are low. Just remember, this bubble bursting won't be the end of the world. If you understand situations like this, then you won't be the one panicking, and you'll be the one taking advantage of the opportunities while everyone else is running for the exit.
So he said something about index funds. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what he said something about, I think. I don't know.
If you want to grow your wealth, okay?
I don't know.
I'll see you over there.
All right. I really wanted to see something about the world ending. So let's see. The world is ending. Let's see. Okay, so let's see that one.
Now to the end of the.
Wait. 2075, the end of our lives as we. No. The world is ending. It's a music video. We don't need that. Let's see. What is this about?
Now to the end of the world.
This year is cause for concern that we've only got a year left on the planet.
And more than 100 San Diegans are preparing for the
2012 and the end of the world.
Well, I don't know about
2012 and the world ended.
Last time I checked, I was still very much alive.
Really?
But what if I told you that the world as we know it has already ended?
Wow.
In the year 2012.
Oh.
Did you ever get that feeling that something just doesn't feel right? Things don't add up anymore. And well, something has changed, but you just don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Well,
what is it?
You are not the only one.
Really?
On December 5th, 2013,
we're getting a little creepy over here.
That anti-apartheid activist, politician, and the first president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, sadly passed away. Except that many people remembered him dying in prison.
Is that what the Mandela effect is?
Immediately, this strange phenomenon blew up on the internet, with people reporting other instances where the reality that they remember differed ever so slightly from what is actually reality, dubbing this phenomenon the Mandela effect.
Really?
What is that? Take a look at this picture.
This is
You might
weird.
think there's nothing wrong with the Pokemon character Pikachu. But would you be surprised if I told you that the black tip on the back of his tail never existed? Another instance is in the movie Star Wars, where you might remember Darth Vader saying, "Luke, I am your father."
No, he doesn't.
Except that the line was never in the movie at all, and he actually says, "No, I am your father." Snow White and the
lies. This is all lies.
Mirror, mirror on
This
the
guy's
the
insane.
fairest of them all?
Mentally ill. Mentally ill.
That's not it. And it's actually Magic Mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? A quick search will reveal many such examples all over the world, where the collective remembers something a certain way, but the reality is so different.
Really?
But maybe one of the more chilling examples.
I think you're just crazy, dude.
Children's hit TV series The Berenstain Bears, where I could swear that it was spelt Stein, except it has and always has been Berenstain Bears spelt with an A.
Really?
I can't really put my finger on that strange feeling I experienced, and had to go deeper down this rabbit hole to find out if something somewhere along our timeline had gone really, really wrong.
But you're just AI!
Some say that this is proof that time travelers already exist.
But this is just an AI video.
Traveling back and forth in time, changing history as we know it, ever so slightly. But perhaps there is something a little more sinister at play.
Wait, what did he say?
A crime had gone really, really wrong.
What did he say?
Some say that this is proof that time travelers already exist.
Oh my. Time travelers.
Back and forth in time, changing history as we know it, ever
Whoa.
so slightly. But perhaps there is something a little more sinister at play. That is where I came across this.
No way.
On August 22nd,
Not possible, dude.
An anonymous 4chan
This is not possible.
user posted this thread claiming to be one of the 23 scientists at CERN responsible for the Mandela effect, stating that the planet was in fact destroyed in an extinction-level event.
What?
And our consciousness was transferred to a different world.
Wow.
He then went on to explain that all
Holy
of us
shoot.
had to have updates to our body in order to survive the increased toxicity of the Earth. However, according to him, some of the updates might not have worked according to plan, suggesting that we have all been already living in an alternate reality. Taking the thread at face
Am I losing my
value,
mind watching
it
this
just
video?
seems like the work of an online troll with a vast imagination. However, upon scrolling through his replies and responses, it seemed that the author was either crazy or perhaps he knew something that we didn't. But then this video surfaced. Released by CERN, this video titled "We Are Happy at CERN" seemed to be a promotional video showing the enjoyable work and fun life at CERN.
Really?
But wait, hold on. What's that right there? What you are looking at is a screen grab of a CERN employee holding up a sign saying, "We are happy here at CERN." And on the surface, it seemed like nothing's wrong.
It doesn't say that.
A bit closer.
Doesn't say that.
Interestingly enough, there seemed to be more symbolism at play here.
What is it?
Besides the uncomfortable and suspicious nature
Who says
of the
Mandela?
play, around his neck, there hung two signs reading Bond 1 and Mandela.
Oh, Mandela.
What is the significance of that, you might ask? Well, it seems that Bond 1 was actually code for an actor called Barry Nelson.
Really?
Who played James Bond in a 1954 made-for-TV movie called Casino Royale, marking the first time James Bond ever made an appearance. And if you put the two signs together, you kinda get Nelson Mandela. Was this employee a whistleblower subtly suggesting that CERN had something to do with the Mandela effect? Even if the video
What is
was a
going on?
gag, at some point in time, every conspiracy theory stems from a kernel of truth.
Really?
And that little bit of truth comes from a prediction by a well-known scientist called Stephen Hawking, whose life's work famously paved the way for studies into black holes.
Really?
So you can be assured that this guy knows what he's talking about.
Dang.
But that aside, this is what he had to say. At very high energy levels, the Higgs boson, which gives shape and size to everything that exists, could become unstable and could cause a catastrophic vacuum decay that would lead space and time to collapse. Essentially saying that the world will end by black hole the moment the Higgs boson particle, aka the God particle, is discovered. At this point in the video, you might be wondering, what does the God particle have to do with the world already ending in 2012?
This sounds crazy.
Who the heck is CERN? With its name derived from the acronym for the French Conseil Européen, pour la recherche nucléaire.
This sounds absolutely
or
crazy.
European Council for Nuclear Research. CERN is basically the leading research organization on particle theory, trying to figure out how the universe was created. If you go on to their website, their mission literally says, at CERN, our work helps to uncover what the universe is made of and how it works. Their endeavors include building the largest hadron collider in the world and attempts to create tiny black holes for studying antimatter. Wait, create tiny black holes? What? Am I the only one that feels like this is a tad bit, I don't know, dangerous?
What? Dangerous?
Never mind the fact that they have a Lord Shiva statue out on their front porch.
Really?
Which just happens to be the Hindu god of destruction. Or that their logo sports 666, the number of the beast.
Huh.
It is very clear
Very
that the
interesting.
work CERN is doing
Who knew all
seems
this?
to be skewed towards playing God. And when it comes to playing God,
What?
we immediately think of one person, the prince of the world himself, Satan.
Really?
Don't just take my word that something suspicious is going on at CERN, because here is another coincidence.
What's
for you.
going on then?
By looking at the writings of the
You
Bible,
know, don't
in
you?
Revelations chapter 2.
Oh,
verse
Revelations!
13, I know where you live.
The Bible.
Where Satan has his throne.
Yes.
Yet you remain true to my name.
The Bible's pretty crazy.
You did not renounce your faith in me.
It's got some good
Not
stuff
even
in there.
the days of Antipas, my faithful witness, who was put
The
to
end of the
death
world
in
is
your
coming and no
city
one's ready for
where
it, right?
Satan lives. And if we look at where
But
Saint
you could be
Antipas
ready.
was put to
Prepare
death,
yourself today.
Interestingly enough, we get a place called the Apollyon Temple. in
Prepare yourself for the end of the
London,
world.
what we know now as Geneva, which just so happens to be the place where CERN is located. Just think about that. Maybe that will give you a little more context to this next part of the video, because you see, after tracing the discovery of the God particle, we find that CERN actually discovered it on the 4th of July, 2012. So is
What?
it really a stretch to say that CERN, upon the discovery of the God particle, accidentally created a black hole, like what Stephen Hawking predicted, which destroyed the entire world? And if that is the case, then how are you still watching this video? Well, it is important to note that over the last decade, many theoretical physicists have come to believe that all outcomes and events happen simultaneously, essentially suggesting that we are a part of a multiverse that is ever expanding with every
Wow.
decision.
This is
that we
way
make.
out there.
With some scientists believing that the universe we're now in was born from a black hole, which opened a bridge sucking two parallel universes into each other, causing people to remember information differently.
Wow.
The truth of the matter is that their realities were just
Conspiracy.
getting crossed with one another.
Conspiracy.
So were we just sucked to a parallel universe when our own reality disintegrated?
Conspiracy.
Well, it kind of makes sense. Because if our universe
Yeah, I don't know
was
about all
indeed
this.
sucked into a black hole, and we did emerge on the other side,
I don't know.
nothing
I
would
don't
have
know.
changed for us. And the only clues that could point to signs that something had gone really wrong would be our memories being so slightly different from the reality in that alternate universe. But
Why
if
does
you
it only
still
have to
think
do
that
with
it's
the
a bit
board
of a
games
reach,
and logos and
notice
stuff? What
that
about
ever
world
since
events?
2012,
I'm just kidding. I don't
Time
know.
seems to have sped up, and the world seems to be spiraling more and more into chaos every single day.
But is that true?
Is it weird that the earliest
that true, or what
reports
if
of the
we're just
Mandela
hearing
effect
about it?
actually only occurred
Because of the
in
internet.
the year 2012? Or how about the fact that the Mayans, who accurately predicted multiple astrological events in our universe, believed that the universe was going to be destroyed at the end of their calendar cycle? That end, coincidentally, being the year 2012. Or even a man named
Terence McKenna.
who used the ancient Chinese I Ching system of 64 hexagrams to graph the King Wen sequence into a fractal pattern that, weirdly enough, lined up perfectly with major world events throughout history.
What?
And, spoiler alert, the graph collapses to 0 in the year 2012. predicting that time had already run out. But perhaps the most peculiar one was a whistleblower by the name of Preston B. Nichols, who wrote books detailing time travel experiments at the Montauk Air Force Base, which was eventually confirmed by CIA declassified documents, claiming that despite their successes in traveling through time, they were somehow never able to time travel past the year 2012, because they could find no future beyond it. And while that might sound like something a 2012 doomsday believer would say before the year 2012, that is just it. He made that claim in 2014. A
2014?
whole 2 years after the world supposedly ended.
Really?
Normally, people predict the end of the world before the world ends, not after. And certainly not after the world survives.
What?
So what was his deal? Was he someone who had seen the true reality of things and was just trying to expose the truth and shed light on where we truly are right now? With so many consequences pointing to the year 2012, you'd have to admit that some major event happened around that date, which warped what we know as reality. But maybe the question that we should be asking now is, if CERN had destroyed the world, how would we know? And where exactly are we now?
300,000 views. What did I just watch? What am I doing? What is this? What is this? Oh my gosh. What is this?
I have recently come to a hard realization. The concept of employment, the very...
Okay.